honored to welcome an extraordinary guest, Robin Hughes, known as Synergic Catalyst. Robin is a multi-talented innovator, educator, and experienced designer. As the chief experience officer at Your Future Games, he has led various groundbreaking projects in education, gaming, and community building across New Zealand and Cambodia. Robin's journey includes impactful roles such as innovation lead at CAM Innovation Academy, business analyst at Switched On Group, and producer at Game Academy and Exchange. His global work reflects a deep passion for learning, creativity, and transformation, transforming how people engage with the world. Robin, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And first of all, my first question is always about your journey. What brought you here? What was your difficulties? What were your challenges that you faced? Your basic education, your early life, and now. I mean, can you get us a brief history and story of yourself? A journey, a life
Yes.
journey.
Yes. So the things in our life that are challenges, they shape us, right? And also we're shaped by the good things, the positive things that happen in our lives as well. So the opportunities. For me, I was shaped I was born into a family in New Zealand. So there were a lot of opportunities. My family, they love us and gave us sort of opportunities to do music and sailing and many activities because they believed in that giving us opportunities to experience and learn and develop was very important. So they had very focused on that. On the other side of things, from young age, I was developmentally delayed. So that means that what happened is first my skull was out of alignment when I was born, and it resulted in me being developmentally delayed. So it took, usually when you're about 2 years old, kids be kind of a bit naughty. For me, my brother was taken to osteopath, a cranial osteopath, and they identified just by looking at me that there was something not right with me. And so they did some manipulation, and they asked my mother, she said, has he always been like that? Has he been always quiet like that and, not very active in that? And I was always a good boy, very good, like never naughty. And so she did some work on my skull to realign things. And then she said, he won't be like that anymore. Right? And my mom's, I guess, like, yay. Because it's good that I always good, right? I never know. It's bad that my brain was not developed. My skull was pressing on my brain. And from there, I had a lot of health problems. So because of that, I had to get extra help at school to be able to read. But I loved reading, I loved learning. So because I loved it, I really helped, right? And because my parents, they instilled a love of learning and love of stories in that. Also, as somebody who really care about other people, like I care about other people when they're suffering or unhappy. And so I tended to take on other people's emotion, and when they stress, then it would end up affecting me. And so that affected me. The fact that I care so much affected me when I was learning, because when I was learning to write, I would push. People think that if you are not performing well, they think it's because you're not trying hard enough. But for me, I was trying very, very hard, right? And they didn't identify the problem was that I was trying too hard. what they needed to do is get me to relax. And it was only when I was, long after I left school, that I realized, I learned that I needed to relax. And if I relaxed, then I could write neatly and I could write quickly. So every time people were telling me to try harder, it happened with my singing as well. They told me to tell people to try harder with things, whatever it was. It actually backfire and makes things worse. If they're trying too hard, if you already care too much, you don't need to be trying harder. You need to relax and allow things to be easier, right? So, yeah. So that's kind of a bit of my early story, and my journey was overcoming those challenges, becoming successful at school, and then overcoming my health challenges has been a lifelong journey. And that's where I got interested in environmental science and ecology and improving the environment when I was young and solving problems with that. And then I got interested in games because when I was feeling not good, I would distract myself with games. And I thought, what if I could be learning? What if I could be earning when I'm putting all this work into these games? I want to get more from it, not just distraction, not just fun. I want to get something useful out of it. And it's true, right? People put a lot of effort into playing games. And what do they get out of it? It's a distraction, it's some fun. But what if we could take that and harness that for learning? What if we could take that and harness that for outputting useful things for people that people would buy or pay for, right? Then we could have synergy. We could have synergy between learning, working, playing, and we could have it people that struggle to work now, because I struggled to work because I was sick, right? It took me a long time before I could get into part-time work, right? We could make it so that it was easier for people to move from learning through to work. And one of the things I discovered on my journey is a lot of people require, if you want to work for them, you need 3 years experience. Okay, so if you come out of school or university and they want you to have 3 years of work experience before you can start, have a way of getting work experience. But if everybody says you need 3 years, then it's hard to get into a job. And so I think about this problem, and I think we need to from my experience, what is it that means that people are not ready to go straight into work and be effective members of the workplace, right? And some people are, okay? Some get a job out of university. Some people are recruited before they even leave school or before they leave university because they exhibit the right mindset and they exhibit the right skills in terms of being self-directed and motivated and being able to communicate, engage with other people and teamwork. And people can see, yep, they've got it. And so how did they develop those things? Time and chance, right? If you have a good teacher, then you're lucky. If you have a good teacher and you listen and absorb what they say and take it on board, then you can develop the skills. But if you don't, or even if you do, but you don't take it on board. So our education system is playing a game of chance because the skills that are teaching are not the most fundamental necessary skills for work, right? It's not teaching first things first. It's not teaching mindset right from the beginning. It's not teaching effectively right from the beginning. And okay, some experiences in my own teaching, some concepts are hard for people to understand from the beginning, but we can teach example and we can introduce them over time. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it so that it is easier for people to have success in their lives. So by combining things together and by synergizing and working like, for example, combining mindset with English learning, language learning, so that every aspect of the learning English language also incorporates mindset, looking at the mindset aspect. When we're learning words, 3-letter words, 2-letter words, we're looking at, for going through ABC, we're focusing on words that relate to mindset so that they can learn about the mindset concepts right from the beginning. And when we are teaching, we are showing them how to learn effectively. So when I am not there, when they are at home, wherever they are, they can learn effectively because we want them to be able to learn faster and more effectively to get better results. So yeah, as obviously I'm very passionate about it, right?
Have you developed any courses for yourself because you're a different person? I mean, what I'm learning from you is entirely unique. I mean, this coming from your side is mindset. That I'm also student of mindset. I follow Peter H. Diamandis for mindset because I have taken 30 days mindset boot camp from Peter H. Diamandis. He is a tremendous person. I mean, we can talk later. But I mean, from your side, what skill set is also coming along with mindset, and then you are teaching English, but I mean, you're teaching mindset. You are changing people's mindset because I also believe that this is the mindset. In fact, the basic game changer is the mindset. If I need to gain something, I need to make my mind accordingly. So if my mind is positive about certain thing, that only then it becomes achievable, then I can achieve. So I mean, this is I mean, from you coming from your side is skill set and mindset and education, teaching education, and but educating mindset. This is amazing. Do you have your own I mean, do you have your own curriculum, or did you devise a curriculum for yourself that you teach to the people?
So I'm developing my own curriculum, right? So I use other people's resources when I can. So at the moment, I look around and find things that I can keep doing. I'm developing my own curriculum. I plan to make, so for example, at Lihan School, that can be used, right? That's the idea, is that other people can use them, because the idea is to make social impact, to make a difference. What I learned is from my own my own challenges about mindset. So I know, and just been, always leveling up and improving, and I've been leveling up very fast recently. Understanding where the blocks are and the difficulties are with a mindset. And for me, I know that in some way I have had more poor mindset, right? When we have scarcity, when you don't have enough in some way or other, it affects the way our mindset very drastically. So when you have constraints and limited resources, and you are afraid of things going wrong and have problems, then your mindset shrinks, and you tend to think, you tend to worry, and you tend to and you end up with scarcity mindset or a poor mindset. And that really restricts your ability to approach problems and things with it's the opposite of abundance mindset. Very much the opposite. And so that has really affected me a lot, right? It's taken as, and a big component of it is actually Western thinking. Because particularly, I think Western thinking have a focus on this whole thing of that if you're not succeeding, you need to try harder. You're not working hard enough. You need to put more effort. You need to push harder, right? And if you contrast that with Eastern mindset, or particularly, I know with Asia and China, right? We would get things like idea of non-action, of awareness, meditation. We get more of the idea of letting things be easier, right? And that started to affect many people in Western culture, that they started to take on these ideas. But people still, you probably know this concept, you hear a lot about the comfort zone, right? You hear about the comfort zone, you need to get out of it, right? It's a load of baloney, right? A load of baloney, okay? It's actually a load of nonsense. I mean, truth in it that it makes it easy for people to believe. But the problem is that we actually at the edge of comfort, right? When we're comfortable and we're doing things like playing sport, we're having fun, and we feel safe. We need to feel safe to change and to grow. And at that time, we can grow in a sustainably fast way. The thing is, we often do not feel like we're growing the same. Part of it is we are suffering. When we're outside of comfort and things are very difficult and hard, we desire to find meaning in our suffering. We need our suffering to mean something. So I have suffered a lot of my life. I've had a lot of pain. I've had a lot of suffering because of my health problems, right? But I don't choose to see that I need to suffer, that I need things to be hard and difficult, that I need to have a lot of pain in order to grow and transform. Okay? What I need to do is remove friction. What I need to do is remove obstacles. What I need to do is have abundance and have abundance mindset to recognize that there is plenty, that I am enough, that there is enough, that we can achieve what we're trying to, what needs to be done with what is available. And so, like, yeah, I over time, when to start with, I thought this comfort zone thing, I can see, getting outside of your comfort zone, how it can, sometimes we get stuck in what they call the comfort zone. But the thing is, what actually is a comfort zone? Okay, the comfort zone is not a place of comfort, right? Sometimes we might feel comfortable by contrast, because what happens is we are avoiding discomfort, right? So when we try to go to do something, it's uncomfortable, so we go back and we trench into where we consider to be more comfortable. But it's not really truly comfortable, because we're avoiding. Okay, and that's miserable. Okay, that can be quite miserable. Being in a place of avoiding growth, it's not truly comfortable at all. Over time, that becomes more and more uncomfortable, because we want to improve, and we want to grow, and we want to be going somewhere. We want to have success, and we cannot succeed if we are always avoiding discomfort. Okay, so what we need to do is embrace radical comfort. We need to recover. We need to look after ourselves, look after our health. We need to allow ourselves to succeed, and we need to allow our area of comfort to expand. And when our area of comfort expands, we can do more, we can achieve more. Our area that's safe is larger. So we don't need to become very uncomfortable in order to grow. When we're playing sport, we're having fun. Right? We're having fun, and we're growing and learning. There's no need to do that. In saying that, if we go, there is a place for discomfort. Okay? Discomfort can speed up how fast we learn and how fast we grow. Okay? It's not completely, I'm not saying this getting outside of comfort is completely bad, but it can be damaging. Okay? So if we're going to do sprints, say we do like we call interval training, we do 8 sprints. Often, or I only usually get to maybe 4 sprints, right? Sometimes because that's how many I can do before I'm more exhausted. But when you do a full-on workout like that, you need to allow a couple of days of rest, right? Before you do it again, to you fully recover. Yeah. So we have these ideas about seeing life as a marathon, and you know in business using sprints. Work isn't a series of sprints. It's not a marathon, right? It, our work is a lot longer than that. We need to pace ourselves. We need to have adequate rest if we're going to perform well. Okay, we can use sprints as a way to improve our well-being, but we need to have adequate rest. We don't expect to be sprinting all the time. We're just going to run ourselves into exhaustion. So what I talk about with getting out of comfort, with going over the boundary, is it's like a rubber band effect. Okay, it's like a bungee cord or whatever. Like it is when you go over, you naturally we're programmed to want to get back to what's comfortable, right? So we can use that to speed up our growth, because when we go out and then we boomerang back in, right? Then we can achieve some really fast progress. But if we do that, we need to use that effect, and we need to spend the time in recovery. We cannot expect to stay out there and stay uncomfortable for too long, because it's damaging. We have to recover. Our muscles have to repair. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. What I'm listening, I mean, this is an absolutely new world to me, and I'm getting so astonished. You're touching my heart right away. Who's your mentor?
I don't have a mentor. I read and watch and listen to people. I have somebody that I follow in relating to what we call inactive strategy.
What's that? What's that?
But that is like the opposite of non-action and allowing. Well, it is connected, okay? Because the idea of an active strategy is you're taking strategy that's active, so you're actually doing things, right? So rather than have a strategy that is disconnected from action, your strategy is something that you do. It's not something you have a planning and that's disconnected from your action. An active strategy is connected. But what he talks about is a lot about creating the conditions for success, right? So if you think about a river going down a mountain, right? The riverbanks and provide the environment and conditions for the water to flow through. So he and what he's talking about is also talking about allowing, right? He's also talking about allowing. People talking about friction. There's I can't remember the guy. There's another guy I listened to, I think last night, that was talking about transformation and change and stuff like that. And he was talking about friction. In terms of transformation and change, that we need to, remove the friction. We need to remove the obstacles. And I'm like, that's what I talk about. That's what And I was like, I'm quite excited. Somebody else is talking about, the same stuff, because I'm always talking about that. And so I need to name dump the name, but yes. If you want to just talk for a minute, I will just quickly find the name so that I can share.
You keep on. I'll present you an idea by the time you get this researched. Okay. You see GAO TV on my screen. This is Global Abundance Organization. I have just started it a couple of weeks earlier. This is Global Abundance Organization, and it's all about what you are teaching. It's all about abundance. It's against wars, against all negativities, against all conflicts. And abundance is, to me, the abundance is creating a world of possibilities through technology, through innovation, through innovative disruption. I mean, that's creating the world of possibility. Like right now, you're in New Zealand and I'm in Pakistan, and we are talking to each other like we are sitting in front of each other in a room. So I mean, earlier 20 years earlier, this was not possible, and this was not that abundant. It was not possible for everybody, not at least to person of my stature. But probably you could have done it earlier 20 years too, but I mean, not me. But this is the world of possibility, that now the communication is abundant. This is easily available. So the my global abundance organization is that we are against wars, as wars are business, abundance is not. So what I'm trying to do, I am trying to convert that amount of money which countries are spending in fighting. I want the same money converted to peace, to friendship, to prosperity, to knowledge and experience and learning and research and anything that's positive. Like, I mean, a person like yourself. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to reach those people of the similar mindset, those who are against wars, those who are against conflicts, those who wants to thrive, to prosper, to they are for peace. They don't want to spend their money for bullets and bombs and anything which is negative for killing each other. But what I want, I just want that same money be spent for education and prosperity and good things and positive. And I mean, right now we are friends. We are having it's this time is as a party time. We are enjoying each other. We are really, I mean, this is value time. What if we were fighting? What if we were yelling on each other? What if, I mean, we were in conflict? So similar goes with your and our neighboring countries. So my message to the planet, and what I'm bringing to the planet is peace, prosperity, and abundance, a world of abundance. I'm also talking to my neighboring countries where we have conflicts. There are people, they also want that there should be abundance, there should be peace. They also don't want to spend their money, hard earned money, for the bullets, bombs, and things like that. They also want to work for peace, prosperity, and not for the bombs. They are also not for fight. But where our governments, our politicians, maybe they are, I don't know what are their limitations, why are they doing so. But people, whenever I'm like right now, we are in conflict with our neighbor country India. Whereas when I see Indians, and when they talk to me, we are so loving. They love my area, I love their area, and I mean that's nice. There's such a beautiful interaction here. When these Indians and Pakistanis see each other in some other country, they are partying, they are happy, they are merry going around. That's fantastic. But I mean, when it comes to politics, I don't know what goes wrong. They are bullet, they are blood. I mean, this is what I am trying to make their mind. Or I'm not making anybody's mind, but I'm finding the similar mind people, the people of abundance. So this is my drive. And I am also trying to figure out a 1% at least in every country, where that person can be country head for global abundance organization, and he works and networks for the purpose of for the peace, prosperity. So I mean, my request to you through this international global platform is, will you be, I mean, will you be a person of the same cause as I am doing? Will you support me in the idea of abundance for everybody, a global abundance through global abundance organization? I need a country head in New Zealand for global abundance organization. So will you support me? Will you be, I mean, it's not supporting me, it's supporting your own country, supporting your own people, supporting the people you're wherever you're living, or wherever you want to impact life positively.
At the moment I'm in Cambodia, but obviously I am from New Zealand and I'm also an Australian citizen. So I'm a little bit around. I think that peace is very important, and when I've looked at the problems in the world, I feel that if you go back and you look at the root, why are the problems? What's causing them? What's behind them, right? And I mean, you're looking at it from abundance perspective, and that is right. It goes back to the underlying conditions and the mindset that people have. And so when people feel scarcity, they feel like there's not enough, then they get scared, right? And when they get scared, they do stupid stuff, right? Yeah, we all do stupid stuff. When I look at myself and the thing, my life, and I can see, look, when I'm affected by scarcity mindset, it affects my decisions, and my decisions are not so good, right? And so, in order to be able to think things through positively and get outcomes like peace, we need to think from abundance perspective. We need to stop thinking about things in terms of competition, but instead think about things, and there's plenty. Think about win-win situation. How can we all win together? We don't win when we fight. Everybody loses, right? That's lose-lose. When we don't understand other people and where they're coming from, when we try to take from other people, we all lose. And it's unfortunate. And I look at how can we actually make significant impact on this. We can do things like we can promote good ideas. We can promote them out there. For me, I think the way that I feel that I can make the most difference is through education, through teaching, particularly people that are at the intersection. They moving from school to work. They are the people that are creating the future families. They're going into the workplace. They are influencing the people around them. They're affecting the people around them. They're sharing their mindset and their thinking and their skills. They're sharing their abundance with other people. And they're bringing the good ideas to other people and teaching them to collaborate and work together, to have empathy and understanding and all those good things. So yes, I'm very pro peace, right? I'm very pro peace. I don't like to see suffering. War brings a lot of suffering. I'm not completely pro peace, okay? Because in the sense that I can see sometimes there is a lesser of evils, right? There is a lesser of evils. So, for example, if a country is going to attack your country, I'm not in this position, but if you were like this, country is attacking your country and there's nothing you can do to stop it, and you choose to fight to defend yourself, I do not blame you, okay? Because I know that what happened, they do that, then very bad things happen, right? When people go fight, people die, all terrible things happen to people. So I understand that people want to defend themselves, right? I understand why people sometimes feel they have no choice, right? I can also understand when people feel that their only solution is to go and try to deal with terror, right? Like I can understand America and how they're scared because people come into their country and attack them, and they're scared, and so they want to do something about it, right? And so they go do something about it. Maybe sometime it helps, maybe sometime it makes things a lot worse, but I can understand, I can empathize with why they choose to do that. I can understand why people feel desperate and they feel that they have no choice to do it. That doesn't mean that I agree with it or that that would be my choice,
Okay, okay,
right? From my perspective,
okay, Robins. I mean, the peace is a byproduct of
yes,
abundant mindset. Until and unless we do not
ex-
have abundant mindset, we do not don't have abundance in our mind. There can't be any peace. And if
yes,
there would be wars and abundance are
cause
opposite to each
scarcity.
other. Okay, now it's everything is coming back to mind, and this
Yes.
is we can't achieve anything without positive mindset. And you are the person who's been working on mindset, and you are the person who talks about the positive mindset and a certain skill set for the success. So, I mean, how would you like to speak on the issue that how can we change our mindset to positivity? That, I mean, like I am in comfort zone, or somebody is in certain comfort. We call it as comfort zone. I mean, my one of the greatest takeaway for today is that as you speak and tell us that comfort zone is not a comfort zone. No person in comfort zone is comfortable. If so, if it is so, then why are the wars, why are these conflicts, why are we fighting, why are we yelling on each other? I mean, that's not comfort zone. In fact, I mean, as you defined, that was lovely. That was the superb takeaway for me. The comfort zone is not a comfort zone. This is our illusion, our miscalculation, our misunderstanding. We understand that's a comfort zone. That is not. Okay, that's wonderful. Now, I mean, coming to your own learning, and as you're devising your own curriculum, would you please like to teach me that how can I be of abundant mindset? How can I achieve abundance first mentally and then for sure otherwise?
So it goes two ways. It goes two ways, okay? So one part is your identity. And okay, I found the two people that I mentioned. Alex Nisbet. Um, maybe when you post it, we can, I'll put it in the comments as well. Alex Nisbet, he runs the a strategy academy, and he's focused on an active strategy. So he's amazing
Who?
on that
Who? So
aspect of it.
I just missed the name. Who's who?
His name is Alex Nisbet. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but Alex Nisbet.
Alex,
Okay, I'll
Alex
give you that and
Elizabeth.
I'll give you the link. Yes. Okay, so he's on that. The other guy from last night, his name is Dan, I think Dan O'Reilly, and I'll give you that link as well. Okay, and he was speaking about creating change, like in Africa, and with social enterprise, can we get people to change their behaviors? Okay, one aspect of it is we need to remove the friction and look at the processes and try to understand where the friction is and remove it, right? So if we want, for example, peace, we need to see where the friction is, where is the places that are getting in the way, where are the obstacles, and try to work to remove them. Okay, the other part of it is identity. Okay, our identity, who we are, who we see ourselves as, that affects our behaviors. So if you say that you are an honest person, then when you go to tell a lie, you think, no, that's not who I am, that's not what I do. Okay? If you whatever your occupation is, whoever you see yourself as, that when you have that affects your decision making. You say, no, I cannot do that because that's not who I am. Okay? So he was talking about that. That's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is that yes, we can learn about mindset. We can learn about the language of positive mindset or growth mindset, or I like to call rich mindset or abundance mindset, whatever you want to call it, right? They're all related. Maybe some subtle differences, but they're all related. So we can learn the language. That's important. But a lot of it comes down to actually what we do. Because the actions we take, they become behaviors, right? And our behaviors become our mindset. So it works in both directions. Who we are, that determines our behaviors and our actions. But on the other same, as we form the habits that inform our mindset. Who I am. If you go out and you pick up rubbish or trash off the ground, then you are telling yourself that I am someone who cares. I care about the environment. I care about my neighbor. I care about the people that drive along the street. I care about everybody. I care in the small things. So when you're doing something like you're building a house or whatever work you do, you have this habit of care and of quality, right? So whatever you're going to do it with properly. Okay? Whatever you're going to do it with the proper care. And I mean, we look at that in terms of income, right? Cambodia and the income. Compared to New Zealand, the minimum income is $23, right? Minimum income, you cannot earn less. Okay, it's a little bit less if you convert to US dollars, but that's quite a lot, right? You cannot earn less than that. In Cambodia, you can go through the countries, you get to Philippines, okay, they earn a lot less. You come to Cambodia, they earn less again. Pakistan earn less again. Why? Okay, you can come up with a lot of reasons why. But business is about trust, a lot about trust. Trust, they say trust is the currency of business. Can people trust you to do good quality work? Okay, and there's a lot involved in that, okay, because there's perception and bias and such, right? But if for example, Cambodia as a whole is known of doing quality work, if everyone's like, well, Cambodians are amazing, they always do good quality work, then if you're a Cambodian, then they would assume that you do good quality work, right? So if you are from a country, in the case of Cambodia, Pakistan, people do not believe that they can do good quality work, then they're not going to pay them well, okay? And then you have communication issue. You need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to understand the culture. You need to be able to interact with people. You need to be able to connect with them properly, okay? And you need to be able to show care in what you do. So you need to understand the Western culture and values, what goes behind it. And you automatically have a different set of values between the East and West. It's not that the West has good values and bad values, and the East have good values and bad values, right? It's good and bad everywhere. And what we want is to bring the good from everywhere and just discard the bad, right? We want a good mindset. Everybody's good mindset, bring it together, and everybody flourish. So my point is that the results that we get are impacted by our mindset and behaviors. And our mindset and behaviors, we create them and our sense of identity through the things we do. Okay? If you say that you believe something, but you do not act on that belief, you can say, do you really believe it or not? Because if you truly believe what you're saying, how come you don't do something? Okay? And so it's like that for ourselves, right? If we say we believe something, we say, I believe that. I believe in love. Love is good, right? But if I don't act in love toward other people, then I know I am lying to myself, right? I'm not telling the truth to myself. So we have to combine our action and our belief. Our love and our belief need to result in action so that they're real. And because of both ways, if you do not believe, if you do not have love, if you don't feel love, it tends to be if you follow the action of belief and the action of love, you come to believe and you come to love, right? You following me? It goes both ways, goes both directions. So we need to do the actions and behaviors, develop the behaviors in order for our mindset and our sense of identity to be complete.
I am really strong believer of a we we are what we do. As you said, if somebody is believing in honesty and still is cheating, if somebody says I believe in truth but lying, well, if somebody say I am good person and doing bad, I mean this is what that's for the sake of saying only. Actually, it's one. What I do, that's what I am. This is my strong belief. Okay, now coming to I mean, I didn't ask any question that I was planning to. I mean, these were okay. Robin, what does being a synergistic catalyst mean to you, and how did this role evolve?
So it developed over time because when I was young, okay, I was in the playground and I used to get bullied and when I changed school, I got out of my school because the school that I belonged to because I got bullied a lot and had a lot of trouble. And I went to new school and then I saw other kids being bullied, right? And I really loved Robin Hood. It's cheer my name, Robin, right? And he helped the poor, right? And I think I want to be like that. Right? I want to be somebody that help other people. So what I do, I go and I see a kid getting beaten up. So I go and fight the bully, right? I stop the bully. I went and fought them and stopped them. Not to hurt them or to cause problem for them, but just to stop them, just enough to stop them. So one time the teacher, like the kid swearing and yelling at the kid, is crying, and the teacher stand there and she doesn't know what to do. So I just get in there and I just sort it out, right? So I was back then, I must have been like maybe eight years old, maybe seven or eight. Okay, and yeah, so I sorted it out, and then when I was a bit older, I had this character called the environmental scientist. I called D environmental scientist. I used D instead of the, and because I want to be an environmental scientist, I want to help improve the world, make things better, and I want to help with desertification, particularly. Which I think that now I see that I really wasn't really about desertification itself. It was about people, right? I wanted to help people, and I wanted to help, like, because of mindset and the thinking and the stuff behind that. And we should talk about abundance, mindset, and stuff like that. That all go behind the reason, what are creations that people make decision or allow it to continue, or what kind of mindset and behaviors and care for the environment going to result in, looking after it and getting things to reforest and stuff. Yeah, anyway, so I had that, and then I went through a bad patch when I was at what I call intermediate school, where I was sick, and I also wasn't able to do sport. So I had a problem with my feet, and I wasn't allowed to run. And because of that, I felt very, very, very sad during that time. But I did a lot of reading, and I started writing a book called The Wanderer. Okay, and The Wanderer was a way of expressing my struggle, my feeling alone, like feeling like I was trying to overcome all these challenges and difficulties by myself. Okay, something like the wanderer is the one that stands alone, is alone, that rides alone, is alone, right? Like the complete loneliness. And the story took place in a desert where there'd been robbers and all sorts of stuff happened, and travel through desert and through mountains and stuff. So it was kind of like very, very bleak. And so that was my expression. But then later on, I had this aspiration when I watched the movie The Swing Kids, which is set in Nazi Germany, right? The kids, they didn't want to join the Hitler Youth, They didn't want to be part of the war. They were against the war, like you against the war, right? So what they did is to cope with the war, they would go and dance, right? They refuse to fight. They dance instead, okay? So like that attitude oppressed me, right? The rebellion of refuse to fight and instead, dance, have an outlet to get rid of the stress and the difficulty. Find another outlet for it rather than go and do bad things, like other people were. That got me into dancing, and so I had this aspiration of what I used a swing kid to think about me and how I was, and think about who I want to be. I want to be somebody who's fun. I want to be someone who can take the difficulties and the problem and can transform that into expressing positively. Can bring some positive energy from the negativity. And so after that, and I had the Rainbow Warrior, which was more about how to more of a fight problem, and how to overcome, how to defend against problem, and how to more like seeing more as like a warrior that deal with not a physical warrior, not somebody physically fight, but a spiritual warrior that have defenses and can deal with problems and sort things out. And then after that, I focus on solution, and so sort of self as I am a solutionist. This is what I want. This I aspire to be to solve problems. So this is what I am. I'm a solutionist. And I'm not sure exactly how I fully come to it, but over time I sort of wanted something different, right? That more encapsulate who I want to be. All those things, they're all part of who I am, who I want to be, who I am. But I wanted something that really, really encapsulate more fully, more properly. And so synergy is the idea of things coming together and working together, right? So we say the sum is more than the parts. So we get more results. So when I'm looking at my approach, when looking at learning, working, and playing, we combine them into one thing. And well-being, so there's actually 4. This is our life. This is all the parts of our life. We combine them together, and we do all of them at the same time, right? We do them together. Instead of separating them out, we do them together, we form synergy. The catalyst part of it is something that helps to create change, right? So synergy and create change, that's how that come together.
Okay, Robin, I've got another question if you allow me to ask. Do you ask the next question?
Yes.
Okay, I'll ask 2 questions together. One is, can you share the story behind your future games? What inspired you to create it? One, and second is, how do you integrate gaming with learning and innovation? Any success stories you'd like to share?
So originally, after I got into, I talked about the whole thing of how I played games, and I saw this problem that I wanted to solve, and so I researched what we used to call pay-to-play games. So the games where you could earn money from playing them, right? And I researched the whole educational games sphere, and I got involved with the Games for Change movement. Okay, so Games for Change is about how can we improve things for people? How can we make social change, social benefit for people through games? So, for example, when I got involved, I helped out. I didn't have any game development skills, so I got involved with project management, right? So I helped to organize things, helped to make things happen. We talked about the Game Academy Exchange before. That was like an initial idea of how can we solve the problem that there's all these people that come out that want to make games, and they need to get into teams, and they need to develop the skills, and they have to be able to work together with other people and to create good games, and so they can get paid. One of the projects I worked on was called was by a group of peace experts from around the world, and they created some stories. One of the ladies had she created some stories. Her name was Miriam Perez, I think. She created some stories to help with development of peace building skills. So there are stories that when you read them, you develop your peace building skills when you read them. So they're designed for kids and for anybody. They could read them and they would help them. And she wanted to make a game. They wanted to make a game. And so we did a rapid prototype for them. And I created called branch scripts, so that depending on what you did, choices you make in the game, you get different outcomes. We have cool things like you have special abilities and special tools, like the truth reflecting mirror. I can't remember what they all were, but there were all these different superpowers and stuff that you could kind of use as part of your when you engage them. Then it would use the dialogue, the related dialogue, right? So you're using language to help people in the story to have peace, to get better outcomes. And so I created a story based on we created it, me and my friend, my mentor. He does rapid prototyping for games for social impact. And so we made this rapid prototype. It didn't work out with them. It turned out that maybe their skills in conflict resolution and peace building weren't so flash when dealing with us, because they got upset that we had not, produced exactly what they wanted, but they hadn't really communicated what they wanted, and so we were just doing our best. Anyway, forgetting about that. So yeah, that was cool. And then I got involved. I got involved with a studio called Out of the Blue Studios, which was a startup studio, and we were working on we worked on multiple games. And I became the chief operating officer, and then I ended up, because the chief executive officer was too busy, a guy from France, I ended up looking after the whole thing for a while. And we had over 80 people working together on 5 different projects at once. And yeah, that was called Out of the Blue Studios. And I learned a lot from that. But after that, we were working with volunteers with the basis of trying to work towards creating games that we could get paid for and that everybody could earn some revenue from when they sold. But it's a lot involved, so it's quite difficult. After that, I ended up starting Your Future Games. And Your Future Games startup, I had the right people together that I needed to have success, but unfortunately they pulled out of it. So it became quite a struggle, but we made some prototypes. We made a math game, VR game, prototype for somebody in education. We made a VR training simulation for a hospital. And stuff like that. So it was, and I did some training for teaching people game development skills. I designed a course that would do more than that. I teach a lot of fundamental skills to do with rapid prototyping, paper prototyping, cardboard prototyping, a whole lot of skills that are useful for work and for industry. Learning about the game development as a whole, because I apply game principles to my teaching and to the things that I do, because games are like a simplification of real life. They're a simplification of real life.
Okay, thank you, Robin. So, Robin, what is your vision of abundance and how do you help others achieve it through your work?
Yeah, I envisage a world where people can learn, work, and play, and look after well-being all at the same time, and earn properly for their time. Um, and I think when people if people focus on behaviors and habits that lead to a positive mindset, and I think we can have a world where that's much better than it is now, right? Okay, I must admit that I can see that whatever we do to try to make things better, people always seem to find a way to twist and make for and use for bad, right? Like there's the fear around AI, right? If we create a system that helps people, people always try to use. Some people try to use for bad, but if we do the right things, we can make it hard for people. We can create an environment that is difficult for people um, to manipulate and distort and cause problems. I mean, it is difficult, right? If we're talking about that end of things, um, if you worry about the problem, focus on the problem, you will never do anything, right? Um, but we can build positively, and when we build positively, we can help to create a better world, and we can make it less likely for a problem. To be honest, I believe that the only way that we can have true peace, true lasting peace, is if the Messiah come back, right? Because the
Okay,
only way we can have truly lasting change is if we have help, right? I believe that. But I think just because it's hard to have lasting impact ourselves, I don't think we should give up and not do what we can do. And that just because people can use good for bad doesn't mean we shouldn't do good, right?
okay. Can you contribute your some time for Global Abundance Organization that we and I, under the supervision and under the umbrella of Sir Rehan, have started this Global Abundance Organization, that is GAO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, would you like to head Cambodia, Australia, or New Zealand?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I'll have to think about it. I don't know.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, right now you are in Cambodia.
Yeah, Cambodia is where I'm at the moment. There's a sense in
Okay.
that.
And you are here, you're teaching English, and you're sure you're developing games and you're teaching English, but I mean, you're changing mindsets.
Yes.
Okay. So, did you see Femi Noon in Cambodia?
Sorry, what was that?
Femi Noon. I mean, she's a philanthropist in the field of education, and she's
No.
award holder. Femi Noon.
Okay.
I'll send you the link, and I'll also coordinate. I mean, I'll love that you see each other. She is a phenomenal lady in the field of education. She has worked so much for his country in Cambodia.
Yeah,
That's
you
good.
mean
I'll just get you connected with her permission. Okay. My next question is: can you introduce us briefly to the Princess Safira project and its purpose?
okay? Yeah. So I have done a number of prototype, and I have used, for example, I've used Princess Safira in the classroom. So there is different layers to her. One thing, I guess, what I'm trying to do with it is I want to impact people's mindset, right? talking about mindset. The idea is she is um, very princess. So we're distancing ourselves a bit from reality because there's no such thing as fairies, right? So we're using the virtual to help us to understand principles and concepts. She came from, my daughter's middle name is Safira. She's Jasmine Safira Hughes, Safira. And, and,
Nice. That's sweet,
and
sweet to know.
so we started a shop, a health and beauty shop, and we called it Safira's Health and Beauty, right? And I wanted to I wanted to create a character and some stories to create a brand character and stories to communicate concepts and ideas through stories. So I started creating some stories for her, and that can help promote a brand, right? So, when you're looking at creating change and creating impacts, you need it to be sustainable. If it's not sustainable, then you require donation. You require sponsors and people to donate all the time in order to keep doing the work you're doing. But if you bring in business, right, then entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, then people have motivation there is incentive for it to happen, for it to be used. So,
Okay, 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 Robins. To you, who's an entrepreneur?
entrepreneur is another name for a person that creates businesses.
Okay, okay. You worked across different countries. How has living in Phnom Penh influenced your creative journey? And second one is, tell us about your experience at CAM Innovation Academy. What made it unique?
Okay, so when I first come to Cambodia, I came here as a volunteer, and I really love the people and the culture. Just a different attitude and a different approach. Particularly, I love working with the poorer Cambodians that have like a hunger for knowledge and hunger to improve, and I really love working with them. Since I've come back, um, I'm not working. I have been working quite with that area quite so much with those kind of people, and so the obstacles that I face because of the mindset and thinking that has challenged me and that has caused me to problem solve and think about how can we work through mindset issues. How can if we have people that don't ask questions, don't seem to be curious, throw rubbish on the ground everywhere, how can we get through to these people to get them curious, asking questions, doing behaviors that help their mindset? How can we shift their sense of identity so that they don't see themselves as subsistence rice farmers, the descendant of subsistence rice farmers anymore in that negative sense, but they see themselves as they don't look down on themselves. They see themselves as people that can make things happen, that can have dreams, that can succeed, they can expand the horizon. Whatever they set their mind to do it, they can do it, right? How can we do that? So yeah, as I say, I from the Eastern culture, been reading about Taoism, and I see Buddhism and stuff like that. I see the good in it, and I can see the difference, the positive things from Eastern culture, and I can see the bad things from Western culture too, right? So, yeah, it really shaped me to my
I need
perception,
to.
my
Okay, I need to ask one other point. I mean, what if I can request you 20 to 30 minutes talk every day on abundance? Can you do that for me? Can we launch a
yeah, no
podcast?
problem.
25 minutes or 30 minutes or maybe 20, whatever time available to you, same time.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll be good.
I like to learn.
Yeah, I need to do it. I just,
Yeah, what you can do, you can you can make the course that you are planning to, and yes, you can apply on me. I want to learn. You be my teacher, you be my mentor in mindset, and I'm also learning. I'll also share what I've learned from Peter H. Mendes and what I'm learning from him. 6 Gs of Mendes, exponential technologies, and with the creating world of possibilities and about abundance. I'm gonna share what I've learned, and I want. I mean, what if we can just weekends like maybe from 7:30 to 8 my time at same it's gonna be like 8 o'clock in my country in the next 6 minutes, so same time maybe half an hour earlier, and this time if you're available we can launch like uh, you may give me a boot camp for mind change. You can get me a boot camp for gaming or whatever you want. I mean, you can give me a boot camp for even English teaching. You can give me a boot camp, anything that we, and then you can make it a book, and then you can publish it on your own website, or like, I mean, later on you can create a book out of it. And so let's do it, just because the world need abundant mindset, abundant and abundance. World do not need any more conflicts. Now we are in the era of Grok 3, Chat GPT, DeepSeek, Gemini, and now let's fight for the betterment. Not fight against you. Don't let's not kill each other. And I want you to play as an Australian, as a New Zealander. I really like you being third party, but I mean, since we are global citizen of the planet, now we are sailing in one boat, and we can't screw it, we can't wreck it. I mean, we cannot make a hole through this. And if anything goes wrong anywhere in the world, and it impacts you and me. If some nuclear fission goes anywhere in the world, that has impact on us. I mean, this will destroy us. I mean, it has impact on environment. It has impact on all weathers are so getting so hotter. Things. I mean, look at the things. So I mean, let's unite together. Let's start. I mean, this 20 minutes talk a day, or maybe 25 minutes talk a day, like my 7:30 to 8 o'clock. So and we can meet together every day. And what you've been planning, and what you devising that curriculum for abundance mindset, or like, I mean, for peace, and let's work together. So, do you approve the idea?
yeah. What I think is, like I'm writing my curriculum and stuff. I'm working on my own stuff in my own time, in terms of my own academy and what I'm doing. Well, I suggest what we do is if we're going to do, we do this together. We have the show together. Sometimes I ask you questions. Sometimes you ask me questions. We can work together on it. And I suggest if we have an output of a book or resource, I suggest we do it together, co-author something, so that we both have input.
That's
So
amazing.
if we're going to do a resource, we do it together. Yeah.
I'll do. I mean, I'll get you the resources. Let's get together. I'm getting you the whole. I've got 30 days mindset boot camp. I'll give you all of that, and whatever I have other resources, I'll get you the links. Okay, and then we can write a book on abundance. We can be co-author. This is
Yes.
fantastic. This is gonna be phenomenal, and we let's spread. And I mean, can you invite some other friends too who think alike? Can we team up? I mean, can you? I mean, ask some friend in New Zealand, somebody in Australia, or wherever they are possible. We can just make it a team. Like, I have already person in Sweden, I have got people in India, I've got people in USA, I've got people, I mean, all around the world. I mean, and I need, what I'm doing, I am collaborating people to people. I am requesting everybody to come and play a part for the abundance, for mindset, positivity. And I mean, I'm learning so many new things, and we can just put them together and co-author. At least you and me can do this. So what if
What
tomorrow?
I think is you kind of like, you see, like there's you say, oh, this would be a good where we are at person to jump into the set to where we're going to be at this point, and schedule them in. We think that this is where it fits. I'm sure that we can, people that we know, or that people that we might know in the future, we can slot them in. Some of the time we might want to just the two of us as well, so that
Yeah.
we can
I'll I'll name it.
we
I'll name
can.
the program Abundance Bootcamp. That will be total change of mind, everything positivity. And I mean through games, I mean you're gonna get it. Since you're a technologist, you're a tech person, so I'll ask to some tech people to join in at some times for discussion, for the technology, for the games development, for the website development, maybe some other resources I can be asking. Since I to me I am an insane networker. I keep networking people. And okay, Robin, this is last minute going on. I have to join my class. And any message to the planet, and especially my last question and message to the planet. Well, you got 1 minute. Can How can people connect with you and contribute to your mission? And with the last question, I also request you to please give a message to the planet.
So at the moment, I'm looking at starting. We're going to have a 8-week challenge, and I'm asking people to bring one question and to answer one question per day. And then I've been looking at um, having some training. So maybe this might fit in with what I've been thinking. So maybe it's going to change if we're going to work together. But the idea is to have a challenge where people ask one question and answer one question per day. And so those questions that are asked, they will go to my students, and the questions from my students, and that they will get people to answer some of those questions. So we start getting that. This is very useful for developing the curiosity and working towards what Rehan School has, which is they have the students doing interviews. So I want my students to be able to work towards that. So it's starting to develop the habits. And it's also useful for anybody from anywhere to develop the habit of asking and answering questions every day.
Okay, that's
Somewhere it's a good way to contribute.
that's another wonderful thing, that since you are an English teacher too, can you ask your students to talk to Rihan school students so that they can podcast each other? They will be friends and they'll be creating value out of. They'll be learning also. I mean that will add value, just because there is a concept, wall in the hole, that you're not teaching directly, but you are providing an enabling environment to your students, but you are not there, but you are there, but you are not, I mean, it's like not a teacher with the program, your teacher, no. But you as a facilitator, but you are all around, but students are talking to each other, but they are
Yes.
learning. I mean, do you like the idea? I mean, do I give it to Rihan bhai, Sir Rihan, asking him to just connect to your student, and your student connecting to Rihan's students? How's the idea?
Yeah, I think that's what was wanted to happen. But I'm just trying to the way of my approach at the moment is, because my students are in a different place to the students at Rehan. They're a different place, and
Which places?
so
Which places? Which countries?
then I'm meaning place as in where their mindset and that is at. So that's why I introduce start small with getting them to ask questions, and then ask and answer questions, and build up to doing interviews, so that they can build up the confidence to do
Okay.
it. So the plan is to do it, but I'm not going to straight away. I'm going to get them set up so that they can feel comfortable enough to do it.
Okay, Robin Hughes, it was great talking to you. I cannot thank you enough for your time, and you've been so insightful, and everything touched my heart. And the final conclusion, that the best takeaway of the day was about the comfort zone, and the second best takeaway of the day is that we are collaborating we'll be co-authoring a book on abundance and abundance mindset, and we'll be co-hosting the program from tomorrow, from 7:30 Pakistan time to 8 o'clock every day. So with that note of thanks, thank you so much, Robin Hughes. and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Can we have what
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please go on.
you still there?
Yeah, yeah.
Tomorrow I already have booked in something at this time. So maybe we could skip tomorrow and do start from the day after. Is that okay?
Fantastic.
So that I can block out the time.
That
Yeah.
means from the first
Yeah.
May, first program on first May.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Perfect.
I'll request you. I'll request you to ask your friends to also join us. So to make the more conversation more interactive and more meaningful. We are
Yes.
meeting on 1st May on abundance. Thank you so much, Robin Hughes. It was lovely
Thank
seeing you,
you.
and you are my new friend in my superb friend list. Thank you so much, Robin Hughes. Seeing you day after tomorrow, 1st May, and we'll be kickstarting our book and our new mindset. There's abundance show will be with Robin Hughes from May 1st every day from 7:30 Pakistan time to 8 o'clock every day.